And we'll get straight into it. Good afternoon, Roger. Good afternoon, Chris. So firstly, let's start off with Chris. Chris, what do you look for in a growth stock, and how do you find that in Skaffold?
What I'll do, I'll click on create a new filter, and I'll start with the default one here, which is quality and growth. I'll quickly just give it a name. Now the first criteria that's already chosen there is the Skaffold score, and you can see we've got A1 through to B2. We want to focus in on the quality businesses, so we'll leave that in place. We've also got a debt to equity ratio of less than 100. That's more than we might sometimes use, but sometimes growth businesses do take on a bit more debt, and that may be acceptable, so we'll leave that at less than 100. Now this one, of course, is key, forecast change in value, or another way of saying the growth in intrinsic value, and we'll aim for more than 8% with that. Now I'll add a few more to this. I'll start with the return on equity, and I'll look at the forecast return on equity, and I'll aim for businesses here that have a forecast ROE of greater than 10%. So what I'm looking for there is businesses that are actually making a profit, so not so much your more speculative growth companies that hope to make a profit one day, but who knows when that day will be. Now I'll also pull up forecast EPS growth. You'll see here as I do this that there's lots of different metrics that you can filter on within Skaffold. I'll go down here to the forecast metrics trends and pull up forecast EPS growth 1 year. And what that's measuring is the change in EPS between the most recent historical year and the next forecast year. So if I apply all of that, you'll see that the universe shrinks significantly, and we're now down to 89 stocks. Now one final filter that I will apply here is not strictly a growth filter, but I'm going to apply a safety margin. I'm going to apply it very loosely, so around about minus 55%, but the idea of this is just to knock out any businesses that really are way overvalued. So once I've applied that, it should have a small impact. Yep, just a few more stocks knocked out. I'll save that. And now once you've done that, you can start to analyze and play with those stocks. Celgen, for example, is a biotech that focuses on cancer. Gilead is another biotech which has just found a cure for hepatitis C. Disney, I'm sure you all know Disney, and Apple, and so forth, Visa. But what I'll do now is go back to the Australian market, because whilst there's a lot more growth opportunities in the US market, I imagine the majority of you are tending to focus on the Australian market. So what I'll do is I'll pull up that same filter for the Australian market, and what we can do nice and quickly is just click on this drop down, and that filter which I had saved will now be present. It should be. Oh yeah, of course, there it is right there. Growth stocks. It's present in that drop down list, and it's nice and easy to access. So you can see that's a smaller universe of stocks. We've only now got 35 stocks showing in the Australian market. We can also, of course, look at these stocks as a list, and I've pulled together a number of different headings for this particular stock list, but you'll see that I've included the sector and the industry so you can get an idea of what those are. And I've also included a few others which we'll come back to shortly.
Investing in shares can be rewarding when you do your research, but it can also take up a lot of your time. There's so much information out there. How do you quickly sort through the companies worth investing in and those to steer clear of? Skaffold is my research tool of choice. It tracks and reports on all ASX listed companies, plus thousands of global stocks daily, helping me decide which stocks to buy and sell. I can quickly filter through the reports to get the information I need. The rating system is like a set of traffic lights for the stock market. Green is good, orange is caution, and red is don't go any further. Skaffold's top stock choices have been highlighted for their outstanding performance by Money Magazine. With Skaffold doing the work for me, I have the confidence to make investment decisions without having to spend hours sifting through financial data. Now you can take control of your time and your portfolio. Why not take Skaffold for a test drive today?